I was born on September 10th, 1944 in Williamsport, Pennsylvania on Walnut Street. The house has been torn down now and my old neighborhood no longer exists because what was called the Williamsport Hospital expanded and forced us to sell our houses. We were sad about this because it broke up our black community. The house on Walnut Street is the house that my great grandfather Thomas Hughes died in. Thomas Hughes was born into slavery in Virginia in 1853. At the age of 12, he escaped slavery by way of the Underground Railroad to Williamsport. Perhaps Daniel Hughes himself led him into Lycoming County. He led many slaves to freedom. There are caves near his house in an area called Nigger Hollow where slaves were hidden. Today it is Freedom Road. Thomas Hughes became a policeman or roundsman, as they called them, at the age of 32. He was described as a quiet, honest, kind, respectable man. His record as an official of the law was impeccable. He had 21 years of service to his credit. On Saturday evening, September 15, 1906, Roundsman Hughes was called by management of the Lycoming Opera House. A dance was being held there, and he was asked to quell a group of young men who became obnoxious. They were drunk. The officer took the leader of the group into custody and began to walk toward City Hall. He was immediately summoned by the friends of the prisoner who pushed him to the ground. Officer Hughes could not defend himself as he was handcuffed to his prisoner. With shouts of "Kill the nigger," the mob of about 300 attacked the officer, kicked him, punched him in the face, and he was severely bitten on the nose. With the arrival of two white officers, the crowd became quieter and dispersed. Officer Hughes delivered his prisoner, washed off the blood, and 15 minutes later was back on the beat. He continued to work for the next 5 days, but during this time he suffered intense inward pain and continuously spit blood. On Friday the 21st, he took to bed, and on the 24th, he breathed his last breath. He left a widow and 6 children, 4 of them under 15 years of age, without any income or pension, as the city claimed he did not die as a result of the beating. The coroner said he died of natural causes. The Index, an independent Williamsport newspaper, stated, "Well may our beautiful city of Williamsport hang her head in shame and remorse. Everyone in the crowd that incited the riot by joining in the yell, 'Kill the nigger,' or struck or kicked the defenseless officer has to carry through life the awful thought, 'I am guilty before God of the crime of murder.'" The police department had been attempting to acquire a patrol wagon but was always denied. Because of this incident, one was purchased. It was called the Black Maria. My mother, Thelma Clipper, had carried a heavy heart about her grandfather's plight all her life. My sister China and I approached the mayor, and he opened the files at headquarters for us. The police chief, Curly Jet, vowed he would make sure credit was given to Officer Hughes before he left office. We sent our story to the National Law Enforcement Fallen Officers Department in Washington, D.C. We were told it takes years to hear from them, but it was only a few weeks, and we were notified and invited to the 13th annual Candlelight Vigil. So many officers from around the nation, also Canadian Mounties, elegant in their crimson jackets, but mostly a sea of blue. As we stood at panel 1822, where his name is engraved, you could hear people praying, people crying, children smiling, as they reached up to touch the names of a parent or relative they would never see again. Flowers and mementos were everywhere, officers saluting their fallen comrades. When the candles were lit, there were 14,000. These were men and women who lived and died by their oath to protect and serve. On Thursday, May 16, 2003, his name and portrait was installed next to a plaque at the city police department. 3 generations of my family attended the ceremony. Although it was not as big a gathering as in Washington, it was so appreciated, this being the place of the attack. In April 2015, a street in Williamsport was named for my great-grandfather Hughes, Officer Thomas Hughes Lane. As my Uncle Harry had said with tears in his eyes, finally there is closure.